Alrighty, welcome back. Today I'm going to be welding with the E6027 rod from Washington Alloy. 5/32 in diameter. And, get my tabs up. Hang on. I'm trying a new camera here. It allows me to display over top of my recording while I'm reading stuff. Alright, here we go. E6027 is a high iron oxide powder. Horizontal fillet welds and flat is what it's best for. We're on an AC, DC straight, AC plus, and DC plus. Pretty much everything. And let me see what else we got going on here. Sorry, this planned out. And wait for my PDF to load so I can read off some information about it. I wish I could pause this camera, but this app doesn't work like that. E6027 classification. E6027 electrode covering contains large amounts of iron powder in combination with ingredients similar to those found in E6020 electrodes. The coverings on E6020 electrodes are also very thick and usually require about 50% of the weight of the electrode, usually amount to about 50%. The E6020 electrodes are designed for fillet or groove welds in the flat welding position with AC, DCEP, or DCEN, and will produce a flat or slightly concave weld face on fillet welds in the horizontal position with either AC or DCEN. E6027 electrodes have a spray-type arc. They will operate at high travel speeds. Arc penetration is moderate. Spatter loss is very low. E6027 electrodes produce a heavy slag, which is honeycombed on the other side. The slag is, it says friable, but I think it's typo. It's supposed to be fragile, F-R-I-A-B-L-E, and easily removed. Welds produced with E6027 have flat to slightly concave weld face with a smooth, fine, even ripple and good wetting along the sides of the joint. The weld metal may be slightly inferior in radiographic soundness to that of the E6020. High amperages can be used since a considerable portion of the electrical energy passing through the electrode is used to melt the covering and the iron powder it contains. These electrodes are well suited for thicker base metals. So my welder here can only go up to 140 amps. And for the size of the electrode I have, I'm thinking I would need to go higher. It does function, I found out. It works fairly well on 140. Although I'm thinking it would probably be more proficient at a higher amperage. That said, it's going to run this through its paces. Make my own screen camera preview bigger. Right here I have, I guess we could simulate a groove weld and a T-joint if I flip it on flat. I'm going to set it up like that and run a groove weld through there to see how that does. Yeah. I'd cut out portions of this with the pause. I said this is done with a pause. How's that look? It looks alright. Alright, something I've noticed with these is whenever you stop welding, the flux around there, it really builds up. Not the flux, the slag at the end of the flux. So if you just try to strike an arc with the rod by itself like that, it's not going to, because the metal becomes recessed down in there. So you really gotta knock at it to get that extra slag off the surface. And I will be turning on the ventilation fan here in a minute because it's going to get really smoky really fast. It's a new E6027 rod. I will leave a link in the description as to where you can get them. And as soon as that fan comes on, it's going to be pretty hard to hear. I'll do my best. Get my stupid purple chair out of here. Alright. It's a groove weld on I think it's 3/8 steel. That doesn't sound right, does it? Well, I'm not going to start the video until I have an accurate idea of what I'm welding on. I have an interview Tuesday at a mobile home manufacturing place. I did go to, it's like 3/4 almost. What am I talking about? That's not 3/4, that's like 3/8. Yeah, that's right. I did go to an construction place. We have an interview. It's a pretty good place to work at. That's the distance kind of gets me, but we'll see. It's not out of the question. Alright, here goes. Now, when it says the spray arc, like, what was it in fillet weld? I would assume that would be with a higher amperage where you slightly long arc your rod. I don't know if you can do that at 140 amps, but I guess it doesn't hurt to try. Once it goes to groove weld. Something I noticed with the flux that it has a very glossy look to it. It's like glass. It's very shiny. And that is on DCEP. Now my Miller's fan is screaming right now. Surprisingly, not all that much smoke for such a big rod. They're cracking and popping. Most of the glass look is down towards this end. You know what? I should have looked up their use in everyday life. It should have been literally one of the main things I should do. You know what? Nope. That ran cold. 140 amps is definitely not enough. Not enough for that. That's what I was afraid of. If I started using these, it wouldn't be a proper review without insufficient amperage. There's that. See that whole groove right down there beside that. I'm going to see if I flip it. It'll do any better if I long arc it a little bit. It's another reason why I need to invest in a really good welder that has electrical capacity, amperage capacity. Another one of these out. I really don't want this to be a short-lived review. I want to do this properly. See right there, see how gouged out the end of that is. It's like a 1/4 inch down into that rod. Sort of far back the metal recedes from the flux around it. I'm going to switch to DCEP, isn't it? No, I feel like I say a lot of things. Hey, I'm sorry if I'm annoying. I don't want to be annoying. I'm just really interested in welding, so if I talk excessively about random stuff, I apologize. I'm not trying to be a pest, I promise. This isn't going to look good. This is not going to look good, I can tell. I'm just going to stick this down here, press that rod into the groove, and just let that puddle dig. how slow I have to go with it. I don't know if I did any better. Find out. I'm really hoping it did. I think I was getting some arc flow on this side. Nope, not even close. That is very disappointing. Not the rod's fault, it's my fault. So, I guess I would explain why there's not much smoke. Not enough heat to melt this rod sufficiently. Well, that sucks. That's disappointing. Kind of expected it though. You know what? I can just run some flat beams. I have a welder outside that can run around 170 amps. I probably said this before. I don't know. But it's not working. Use a transformer or something of some sort. Yeah, I want to get in a career of welding. I do. And I'm looking places. I'm just not sure I'm ready to get into really big stuff off the deep end. I was told to get your foot in the door, and that is a good thing. I don't know what's with me. I know what I need to do. I'm not trying to wimp out. I just want something closer to home. I know there's guys who drive much further than an hour and 15 minutes daily. They suck it up and they put up with it. Makes you wonder if you're going to be a pipe welder, why would that be any different? It would be worse. Worse in quotation marks. I know. Just give me a bit. I'm not giving up. I've tried 5/32, 70/18 before too. Oh my goodness, now it's smoky. Now it's smoky. I don't want to be a disappointment to the people who taught me, to all the time I put into it, the people around me. Maybe I'm more so thinking I'm just a disappointment to myself. Tell you what, it's still recording. Now my screen timed out. It's still going, that'll be awesome. Yeah, it's still going. Alright, we good. We good. Alright. We have more confidence. Step out into the other road. So at 140 amps, that's what a 6027 stringer bead looks like. I don't think it looks too bad, but I'm sure it could be more spread out. Higher amplitude clearly. So I'm going to take this other stub and see what I can do with a weave. What kind of weave I can get out of this. Bear with me, or you don't have to do it, it's up to you. Heard it'd be a good idea to get a filtration mask if we're doing industrial work. See how shiny that is? Huh. Just still focused? Yep. That's what a 6027 weave looks like. Couldn't see that. You can see some of the weave pattern in it, at least from my perspective. It's got a slight bluish purple to it, probably from the heat of the metal. It's not a very big weave, but again, it's such large mass of metal. It's not very defined edges between the weave. You can see it. Kind of like 7018, I feel, is more visible, if that makes any sense. Let's get this thing up vertical quick. See how it goes vertical. It's meant for horizontal and flat, but you know, if I do rod, I do it in all positions, just because I can. I like to push it past what it was designed to do, even if it's a bad idea. And if it is a bad idea, then I'll find out pretty quick. The results will be shown shortly. 140 amps, vertical up. You know what? I'm going to try it on this failed V group here, see if I can do that. Arc's done. Arc's sputtering. Come on. Well, that's kind of what's going to happen. It's gouging out. And I had this problem with vertical up 7018. I thought it was my welder and my rods. Here it was just me. And I wasn't holding long enough on the sides, but this has that hump from the stringer bead previous on it, and then it's got this gap in the middle which has slag stuck in it, so that isn't very good for the rod either. It's honestly not really worth looking at. This looks like a total mess and a big droop of the weld. Regardless, you'll see it later. It's really interesting. It's like kind of like an oversized 6010 for a factory pallet. It's slag and flux stock after a weld. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work in vertical. I mean, they kind of specified in the rod that it won't work in vertical, but I just like to find out. We don't really do stringer beads vertical. More of a weave, but never hurts to try. Do straight up stringer. Is inconsistent and it dies being vertical. And as suspected, it looks terrible. Interesting. Alrighty, so as a note, great way to lose your job is try doing vertical up with E6027s. That's not going to pass inspection. Although, anybody should be able to figure that one out. I think this should be a clear view here. Out here, hopefully. Let's get horizontal to go. I have 70/24s and I can only run the 8 through 70/24s I have for later because the 5/32 70/24 require higher amperage than my welder can output. Let's get a Lincoln Tombstone and run stuff on AC. Maybe Miller Bobcat would be nice. This one would be expensive though. Let's see a mobile welding rig, that'd be great. horizontal won't look too bad. With some practice, I feel like I can get better. So right there is the best one. What I tried to do with the lower one, I tried to loop around and angle my rod this way and drag it left, but it didn't have a very good turnout. So aside from flat and horizontal, those are the only ones it's recommended for. So yes, you can do horizontal. I don't think it's worth trying to weave horizontal, not with that rod. Let's try overhead, because yes. Can't do it without overhead. My vise is absolutely covered in slag and chunks of metal. There it goes. It's fun to do. Here's where it gets messy. There was YouTube comments or weld forums somewhere. I read that weld instructors would put the cocky know-it-all students on 70-24 overhead for a few days. That would be messy. As long as I go one day at a time. I'm not really trying. That was an endless waterfall of molten metal. And this probably looks super dirty. Yep. Alright. Let me flip this thing over and that about wraps it up. Plus I'm gonna Google here quick the industrial uses of 6027s. They're not sold a lot of places, so I can't imagine they're used as much as they once were. Oh. That is E6027 run on overhead. Really messy. See, the globules and metal kept forming and dropping off. It's also my fault because I had trouble staying straight underneath it, standing straight up, getting a good bead. But I've got about a little over 3 feet of space. I don't have a rig for getting it over my head. If I did, I'd use my leather apron and leather jacket. I wouldn't... I know this isn't going to sound great. I wouldn't say it's deplorable compared to some stuff. I think maybe it might be doable in overhead if you tried hard enough. But ideally, no. I'm not even going to try to weave in overhead. You know what? Maybe I am. Nah, it sounds like a really bad idea. If it doesn't do the stringer well enough, why try weaving? Shrink my recording screen down a bit and... The 6027 information I got was off like a compiled guide on fillet welds from like 2002, 1995, something like that. Sit me with me. Hang on. I wonder why you're using the internet. You shouldn't have to do that. You're right, except my knowledge on the E6027 is quite limited. Alright, here. E6027. Why am I finger covering the speaker? I don't know. E6027 electrodes are used for the welding of ship hulls, bridges, structural steels, railroad cars, earth-moving equipment, and pressure vessels or pipes that have been positioned for horizontal welding. There you go. That's what they're for. Maybe sometime I'll come back and do a recap on it when I'm more suited for this in the way of my welder. But for now, that's just I'd say a basic garage recap of this. Not recapping, this is my first time. Overview. Yeah. So, here's hoping I get a welding job that I both really enjoy, which I do enjoy welding, and that kind of works out. I've never said no to anything yet, but I've had to think on some things. It's different for every person, I guess. I guess I'll stop talking about these things and, yeah, never mind.